talking more about sex. That's what it's called, Sex Actually podcast. But then it really is relationships.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Sex is like the reward.
It's like the base of... Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll just jump right into it. Everybody, welcome to Sex Actually podcast. Here with Hayley Law. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I wanted to mention this on air. So you were in a movie with Brett Deer.
Yes.
I did a movie with him years ago.
Really?
I did stunts for him.
That's so... I could see it.
Yeah. I don't really look like him, but someone had to do it.
But from the back, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and I think I had to lay on the ground for him. So I was like basically
like a
dirty.
2-foot fall or something.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing. I didn't take any bullets for him or anything.
I always think that's weird when they have a stunt person for like a trip, and then you just fall like 10 centimeters or something.
That's what happened with this movie. Is there was this movie where they had all these like hunting type of stunts where like a bowling ball fell and they had to move out of the way.
What movie was it?
It's called Backmask. Oh no! They changed the name of it to Exeter.
I'm gonna try.
And it's on Netflix.
Okay.
He got a good role in it. It's good, like funny horror film.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were doing all, and I don't do stunts, but they were doing all these like dangerous or like pratfall type of things. And I was like, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then I told the guy, I was like, I can do stunts if you need me. I like just lied to the stunt coordinator.
He's like, we're gonna light you on fire.
They put me in the biggest stunt. I had to do the final like fight sequence and have all this shit thrown at me, and I had to like fall on the cement. And I was like, why did I lie? To get
for the story right now.
Yeah,
literally.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm literally, I got bruises 5 years later.
For this moment.
And he's a Canadian, you're a Canadian.
Yeah.
Welcome.
There's a few Canadians.
How long have you been here?
4 months.
Seriously?
Yeah, not that long. I still don't know anything anywhere.
So so I've got your credits here. I'm not normally good at stalking people, but I figured I'd try a little harder here. You're Valerie Brown on Riverdale.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And does that shoot in Canada?
Yeah, that shoots in Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's where you got...
So that's where I'm from, so I've actually, the two things that required me to work for a long period of time, both shot in Vancouver. I was like, oh my god, yes, where are we going? And they're like, it shoots here. And I was like, oh, okay.
You just want to be in Mexico or Thailand or some crazy...
I was like, when are we shooting in Hawaii?
But Vancouver's beautiful, right? I've only been to Vancouver Island.
Yeah,
Victoria.
Beautiful. Still beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's just everything. It's the beauty of North America without America.
That's true. Yeah.
Our political bullshit.
Lots of rain though.
Yeah, but we need that. LA's the driest,
I feel like
dustiest.
we still get the political because we're like right there. So I feel like we feel it.
You have the ability. Canadians are smart. I'm gonna piss off a lot of Americans here. I think Canadians are smarter politically. I think all of Europe is as well.
Yeah.
Like when I studied in France, I was like, oh geez, they know more about my political system. Like I can't even debate them. And then Canadians, I think, also are like less fucked up with like their communication, like their sex and dating. Every Canadian woman I've met just seems. Do you see? I mean, you've been here for 4 months. Have you got to meet? And LA's more progressive, I think, but like it's kind of we're like this country's Puritan. This is like real Handmaid's Tale shit.
Do you think so?
Yes.
I haven't. I feel like I haven't got to see enough. I stay in my apartment a lot, so I might as well still be in Vancouver.
It's you got.
But I've only seen one episode of Handmaid's Tale, so this is extreme.
Oh my gosh.
This
I'm not
is
saying we're
comparison.
like it's an extreme, but I can see because like I'm from New England and we.
But you could see, I could see it like becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh my god.
Easily, because I mean the fear mongering. I mean, have you ever seen the political ads? Are like it's insane. Because tomorrow, well, we're gonna release this next week, but tomorrow's our election, and there's the billions. I mean, I'm watching the football game last night, and Trump he's got an advertisement on like beware, they're coming to the borders.
Shut up!
What
No
world?
way.
And people are believing this shit.
No way. I don't have cable, so but I'm not missing out.
I love how
really
blissful,
there's really an ad.
An ad. It was like sponsored by Donald J. Trump, and I'm like, how much did that cost to be on Sunday Night Football? To just like scare the shit out of people. And anyway, I always start.
I will say though, here, I've never seen so many flags. Like there's so many flags, billboards of an American flag. There's American flags everywhere, and there's in Canada.
And
it's
you're
not really
even in the redneck parts. You got to get to redneck America. And it's
Well,
only an
Canada
hour
doesn't
away.
have very many flags.
You know what? You know the
It's
Maple
like
Leaf?
you need to. No, we have like, but not like when you're driving on the highway. There's like billboards of just like the American flag.
Well, that's
just
where our
for green or
branding's off.
something.
Our branding's off because I don't want to make. It's not like I'm not patriotic, but like your flag's a maple leaf.
Yeah.
Who's gonna fucking argue with a maple leaf? That's just...
It's just a friendly thing.
That's friendly.
Actually, a granola bar today, starting a granola bar today, there was like a bunch of different flavors, but they had a maple one, and I just felt like I have to get the maple.
You have to.
So I got the maple one.
You get home field advantage.
So
but we're like, we've got like a fighting eagle. Like only Americans
the
can
eagle's
make...
cool.
It's cool, but I'm just saying, it's like we've got an angry bird just it's an attack animal. It's like, why can't we just be the cool... Like, you guys got weed now?
But California has weed.
I've been high for 5 years now. So
I know.
It's LA's...
I'm like, do we not? I don't know.
LA, yeah, we've got weed, but also...
it's still tough in BC because the laws... I don't think it's going to be a positive because they're closing down tons of dispensaries, which is just going to make drug dealers... at large again because they want everything to be government controlled.
Why are they closing them?
Because they want.
Oh, you mean they're closing ones that aren't like licensed and all that?
Yeah, but I know some of them that really went through it like a really long, extensive, expensive, I don't know, thing last year to be.
To like campaign.
Yeah, to be legally open, but they changed the rules since then because it's legal now. So those ones no longer apply. So they have to redo all the stuff, but in the process they have to close all these ones. So there's I think there's only 2 legal ones and one's in Nelson or something. So you have to drive 12 hours. Anyway, so I'm not there anymore.
Well, yeah. When I look at a map, I see a few cities and then I see all that.
I'm talking about Castlegar, and people are like, "Is that a make-believe place?"
Castlegar sounds like a Narnia place.
Yeah, it does. But
where are you? What kind of town are you from?
I went to school in Surrey, so that's
Surrey?
Surrey.
Surrey.
It's probably half hour from.
That's so
downtown.
funny because that's how the Canadians say sorry.
Surrey,
and you went to Surrey.
Sorry, everybody says sorry.
I'm trying to peg your accent. I don't hear a deep it's because the Canadian accent's not strong. It's just a few different things.
Someone asked me if I was South African one time.
Well, you got that ambiguous look. You could be.
With my accent though, they were like, "You have an accent. Are you from South Africa?"
Were they an American who asked? Because we're really bad with.
Unfortunately, yes, it
was. So how big was Surrey? How big was your class? Your graduating class? Was it small?
Oh no, it was pretty big. I don't know.
I
blocked that whole high school thing out. As soon as it was done, I was just like, no.
Were you one of that you just didn't like your experience?
Hated it.
Why?
I just didn't feel like that shit was gonna matter, to be honest. And I don't respond well to teachers not threatening you with physical harm, but I don't have a problem with authority, but when people try and make me feel like they're better than me or they have more power than me, I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm just leaving then.
That's it.
You need to come or else you're gonna fail, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna come then.
That's why, in college, they say you don't even have to show up. Usually, they don't even, worry about attendance. It's if you score, the grades you pass.
I was stoked when my teacher was like, they don't even do attendance in college. You're not gonna pass. I'm like, they don't? I'm going to college for sure then. But
so, the school systems were they're kind of designed like a prison.
Yeah. They are. And I had an awful boyfriend, and I was just like, I hate everything about this place.
So you just had, but did you feel as soon as you graduated, was it the iconic school movie where everyone just throws their papers in the air and runs up and?
Yeah, I just was to be honest, I stopped going 2 weeks before all that. I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done.
Where you do it because it's for creatives, it can be tough because you're really not supposed to be governed by
I also didn't want to be an actor in high school. I just didn't think about it, but I've always been a musician kind of, but I wasn't even doing music in high school. I just knew that everything that I was doing in high school was not going to apply to what I was going to do after high school. So I very quickly just gave up. Not gave up, but I just pulled myself out of it mentally. That happened
to me in college. Yeah. After I studied abroad,
I
go, I'm not going to be, I'm studying business and geez, look what that got me. I was like, it hit me, I was like, I'm going to finish my degree. But also, I did it. I literally got my degree just cruise control. Mm-hmm. My GPA dropped a solid
But
point.
You got it?
Yeah.
Then you're good.
Yeah. It's and even if I didn't, who cares? I don't know where my diploma is. I never felt like I deserved to hang it up. It just felt weird. I'm still paying my student loans.
Has anyone asked you for it since then?
No.
Yeah.
No. And did I learn anything? I mean, the networks I made with fellow students
Mm-hmm.
was definitely, and that's just like with acting too. I feel like your network, it's like with your peers.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Totally.
Like you can't. I mean, you can network with like, say, you meet some big director or something, and these gatekeepers. But really,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're gonna make friends with like another actor or writer or whatever it is in like some group, and then down the line they're gonna think of you. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Especially here in LA.
yeah.
It's crazy.
And you're only 4 months in.
I always tell my family, because when they're sad that I've been here for so long, that I get more done here in a week than I do in 6 months in Vancouver.
And why is that?
I feel like things happen here. Decisions are made here.
See, most people say LA is so slow.
Really?
Or maybe that's just the SoCal.
Maybe
living.
you go to Vancouver for a couple years. God bless Vancouver, but Memphis is slow for creative.
How far was Surrey from Vancouver? Like from
25 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you weren't like the Boondocks.
It felt like it at times, but no. And then I moved downtown when I was 18, so it was like, and my dad always lived downtown, so I was kind of.
So you really just had to get you had to get out of
Vancouver.
like.
When I say
school.
downtown, I mean Vancouver.
Right, but you had to get out of like school and like being told what to do. Did you have that same
Yes.
vibe at home where you were like, nah, tell me?
No, my parents. I feel lucky that they've always known what kind of personality I've had, and I never did anything bad, but not that they didn't tell me no, but I was never trying to do anything that they would be like, you can't do that.
Right.
So,
So they just like trusted you.
Yeah. I always
Are
say
you
we
the
have
oldest sibling?
a mutual respect always. No, I'm in the middle child.
There you go. There you
So
go.
I also learned from the
I was gonna say, do you have an older sister or brother?
older sister.
Now, traditionally, I'm thinking these older sisters have it the worst. Like my girlfriend Tasha, she's the eldest, and she's like sort of counter dependent now because they kind of had to like tell her what to do every step of the way because I think they were like scared parents. And then I'm not. You know.
I think my sister likes to test my parents though, and I don't. Even now, she's almost 30, and she still gets into it more with them than I do. And I'm just like, why? You know what's going to trigger them. Why do you do this?
You're just a chill middle child.
Yeah, I just don't care for the confrontation.
And that's the
she
thing.
likes it. She should have been a lawyer, really.
It's like, I got a buddy who's always arguing with his parents because they have different political views, and it's like,
oh, wow.
bro, just take the nice warm cooked meal and don't, you know what I mean?
Just chew and smile.
Like, that's the thing, you don't grow apart. Like, you're still, like, I feel like family, you grow your own identity, and it's not always going to line up. Like, I got an aunt who believes in gay conversion therapy. What am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
That's psychotic. You can't negotiate with
For a
that.
second, I was like, what is that? Got it.
It's like,
no.
you know,
You're not going to change her mind. You're going to argue with her forever, but that's
geez,
such
that's
a
the last thing you want to see is stuck in an argument with her. Not that she's like combative, it's just non-stop. It's like, if you think that you...
Therapy.
Yeah, I had a buddy, Ty. My buddy in college came out of the closet, and then like a few years later, she's like, does Ty still think he's gay?
Does Ty still think
That's
he's
the
gay?
dudes
Oh
he's
my
banging.
god.
And they truly, but they believe they're saving people.
Wow.
You don't have, I mean, is religion's not that big? And I hate to say
I think it is. I think it definitely... Actually, I have a friend here who's from Vancouver who lives here as well now, and we were talking about how I love how in the States, well, I haven't been everywhere in the States, but here, I feel like people are more vocal about their beliefs, and I think people at home are a little bit more shy to talk about it because they don't want confrontation. And it's not that they don't feel that way, I think people are just more open to talking about it here.
Mm-hmm.
Although, my grandma, well, she's Jamaican, so she isn't from Vancouver, but if a Jehovah's Witness comes to the door, she's very Christian. It's like head to head for like hours.
Oh, really?
I used to love it. I would just be sitting and I'm like, Granny, Jehovah's Witness at the door. Usually I don't answer, and she's like, let me get it. And I was like, oh my god.
So she's
a very
got
passionate
she still
Christian.
has a strong Jamaican accent?
Oh yeah.
Fuck, so you got a Jamaican
It's so
grandmother.
cool. Yeah.
Is that like where all of your family's from?
My
Or just that side?
mom's side.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And how did she get from Jamaica to Canada?
She was actually born in the UK, and then they were gonna move. It was between Canada and South Africa. I actually just learned this a few days ago. My mom told me this.
Interesting.
And my mom's dad applied for jobs in Canada and South Africa, and then he got both, but they ended up going to Winnipeg, and then moved from Winnipeg to Vancouver.
See, Vancouver's really going to be where it's at. If this global warming thing kicks in, I mean...
Do you think so? I think people say that.
You're right. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, but the rain, dude, 10 months.
Yeah, but you weren't here. You just got here. We had a 5, maybe 6 year drought where they literally just stopped watering the grass, like in the medians. Everything just turned to dust. It already is dust, but imagine we'll get rain in a couple months or so.
The last time I was here before moving here, it was like 2 days of like apocalyptic rain. It was so bizarre. I've never seen it like that ever.
That's what we
crazy.
get. Yeah, we get like that once a year.
Highway was like flooded and like palm trees were falling apart. It was nuts.
Yeah, and it doesn't absorb, so it just like washes
it just
out.
sits.
Yeah.
But it's only rained 1 day since I've been here for like 5 minutes.
You're not going to see much of it. Just stay off the roads.
It's nice to go from like the extreme rain to no rain, but
Vancouver knows how to handle it. Like they're just northwestern. Like they know
the apocalyptic rain that was here, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Like in Vancouver, it was like a regular Thursday.
Yeah, this is a weird. See, nothing's supposed to be out here. It's supposed to be a desert. Mm-hmm. Palm trees aren't even indigenous out here. That's why all those palm trees have all the shit palm fronds, whatever. Because we don't have the animals that like burrow up there and knock it all down. Yeah. It's just everything out here is fake. Yeah. So once you realize that, you just play with it. You just go, okay, this is just the people. I mean, it's like I don't even mean that like in a cynical way, but like when you when you get to like being from New England. Have you ever been to the East Coast?
Not really. I've been to New York a couple times, but not long enough to really have like soaked it up.
That's where you need to take a project in New York.
Oh my god, I'm trying. Every time I'm there, I'm like, I just love it, and I don't know what it is because I went on at Christmas time. Actually, I was there for New Year's, and it was freezing, and there was garbage and rats, and I was like, oh my god, I love this city so much.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
You literally grab a slice of pizza. You're outside leaning against a building next to trash, and you're just. And
then all of a sudden you end up at ASAP Rocky's house or something. That didn't happen to me, but like crazy things happen like that in New York. You're leaned up having some pizza, some trash, and then you're at ASAP Rocky's house.
You do end up you end up somewhere, and it's like, oh, my buddy's doing a thing. What? And next thing you know, you're like, yeah, this isn't even believable at this point.
Yeah.
So you had a boyfriend in high school.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was like, I was talk about that. So do you stay in touch at all, or?
You know what? You know what? Every single guy that I had gone out with or like dated briefly has hit me up now since like working in entertainment.
Well, okay, so you're in the new movie, The New Romantic. You're Valerie Brown on Riverdale, which is CW, and that's a huge. I mean, that's like probably a real loyal, big following.
Yeah.
You got 500,000 Instagram followers. I mean, I'm doing the math. Here. And it's your birthday coming up.
Oh,
I did that.
You did do that.
I did that. I got your birthday gift. We make homemade soap here.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's homemade. So it's good. You gotta use it.
No, these are my favorite things.
Yeah.
Soap, candles.
I need you to tell me. Yeah,
I will.
It's
those are. That? This is real, you guys. I actually really got a gift just now.
Yeah, and I gift wrapped it myself. So there you go.
Oh my God.
It's peppermint and it's made with coconut oil.
Wow.
It's amazing. So don't treat it like my family. I give them soap and they make it all decorative and never use it. I'm like, no, use it. Yeah, so have a birthday.
I just have a new apartment. I have nothing in there.
There you go.
I haven't bathed in 3 months. No.
You're gonna just have soap.
Yeah.
Is that why you have an ex-boyfriend? Because you haven't bathed in 3 months?
Yeah.
So what's we can all trace back our like who we are to like one. We can all trace back
moments. A collection of.
Yeah, or just like that asshole that we dated, or that we didn't realize. Or, I mean, like, what were you like together all high school?
10 to 12. So like 2 years, but I've had a few assholes that have shaped me into the lady I am today. But you know what is funny about this particular one was, I had known him all of elementary school. We liked each other in elementary school. And then we ended up dating in grade 10. He's never going to watch this. Lost my virginity to him, grade 10, all good.
Oh, he's watching.
I hope he's not. Oh my god, please.
In Surrey, British Columbia, we are huge. I checked the numbers.
Yeah, but he told my friend.
I like that Canadians call it grade 10. That's the
grade
one
10.
tell.
Oh, 10th grade.
No, it's cool. It's totally fine. Grade 10, okay.
10th grade, and but when I first liked him, I was telling my friend, and she's like, I'm going to tell him. I was like, okay. And he was like, I don't like Hayley because she has lion hair. And now he has no hair.
Wow.
So I just thought
no
that was
by choice.
No. Oh no. Very right after high school, it just it's gone. And I was like, oh, what an interesting thing that he told me he didn't like me because of my hair.
You got great hair.
Yeah.
Oh, he cursed himself.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things for guys to lose your hair.
Himself.
He did. He absolutely did. You lose your, and luckily I'm not, I'm starting to get grays, but I'm born in the mid-'80s, so you do the math.
It's really rare. It's rare for, like, a man, even in their mid-20s, to have hair now. Which is fine. I don't care either way, but it's like, it's crazy. Like,
women are stressing us out.
The MSG or I think it's the food, man.
It's the soy? You think it's?
Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
I think it's the food.
And I mean, I have buddies that have literally taken, hair pills or whatever to grow hair, knowing full well it's a boner killer.
Okay, you know those like Instagram like hair pills and stuff? My friend was telling me she took it, and I was like, "Does it work?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, it works." I was like, "Oh really?" She was like, "But it works everywhere." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Wait,
so
but
you get
for
hairy.
A guy?
For a guy though, I don't know. I think they don't care about it.
Doesn't matter.
But these ones are catered to girls. Like it's like, do you want to have long luscious hair like Kim Kardashian?
Interesting.
Take these. And my friend was like, "Oh no, don't take those."
Yeah, it's incredible. First of all, how women care about like long eyelashes and things like that. I don't. You know what I mean? There's like a real like eyebrow.
There's a market for like everything.
Yeah, to grow everything. Everything you want to do fucks up something else.
Yeah.
So my buddy John, his hair was thinning, and he was like really successful as like a dating coach.
The boner killer. This is interesting.
And so he takes it, and I'm assuming it's like kills his sex drive, and he's like, and then he just got married. His wife's beautiful. He's a good looking dude. I always on past podcasts I've said which of my friends I would watch having sex. You know what I mean?
Do they know?
I told them, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I would tell Marina and Jonathan, I would 100%.
Yeah.
Almost all my friends, but then there's some of them like, my buddy,
I'd rather not.
Like my buddy Darren, I always say my buddy Darren and his girlfriend Claire, like she's beautiful, but I would watch them having sex just to like heckle him because he's like my best friend, just to be like, what are you doing? Like just, I'd love to commentate on it. I would love for that to be a thing. That's how boring it becomes in a long-term relationship where like my girlfriend and I are just like, which of our friends would we fuck or watch?
She's like, that's not the question.
It's like we're just from one of those like one-way mirrors, like we're FBI and we're just like watching an interrogation.
If it was a one-way mirror, that's a different question.
Well,
if it's who would you watch, like, and they're in the kitchen and you're in the chair, or who would you watch through a
let's put it this way. You have neighbors that you're good friends with, right? You've known them for a bit. You know that you think they're attractive, man, women, whatever, and you're walking by. And you're walking your dog, and you see that the window's open. Do you look in?
Oh, I'd stop, yeah. I don't find these things, like, that big of a deal, though. I don't think sex is, like, that. Like, I would watch.
Yeah.
If my friend was like, he's not very good, can you come and watch? He said you could watch. Please come and watch. I would be like, no, I can't. And I'd be like, but can I? Like, I'd maybe watch.
Yeah. That's the thing. So for me, growing up Catholic, when, like, no one talks about this stuff, I'm almost more interested now as an adult to be like, so like when Jonathan's like he was having a boner, I'm guessing he had boner problems, so he started he like wasn't even just into his beautiful new wife, and so he started taking testosterone, which is actually I think.
Did he know right away? Maybe it's from the hair pills though.
I think so. I think it was probably that, along with like he's kind of anxious, and I don't think he was on an anti-anxiety. I don't know, but like I said, all these things you're just tweaking.
Some works, some doesn't.
And so he took testosterone, and I'm having this conversation with him at like a friend's party, and it's just so funny because like I'm just like talking to him about how strong his boner is now, and I think it's like a conversation that like men we need to have this with our buddies.
Yeah.
In case I just couldn't imagine if like you had one friend who's like not getting erections, his girlfriend's upset, whatever, all these like weird, and it's like, bro, there's a thing now for that, and it doesn't mean you just like have to take Viagra and be like hard all day. It's just, I don't know. So like.
But would you get to not stop taking the pill though if you knew that it was doing that to you?
If I was going bald?
Yeah.
Or
would you take another pill?
Hair's so important, and luckily, I don't think I'm going bald.
Yeah.
I've got this is good, right? That's the one thing I got. Yeah. I got hair. You got hair too.
So your friend is down, but he was just like, let me just find another pill for this.
I guess so. I don't know if he got off of the hair loss pills. Yeah. But sometimes it might not even that might not have been the total cause. Yeah. There's just different things. And he's like late, he's turning 40 soon.
Okay.
So that's when like I think
that's fine. Just rock the bald. Here's the thing, I think bald is hot too, but if you gotta rock it though. You can't go halfway.
I'm not.
You can't go cul-de-sac halfway. You just gotta take it.
You can't do the rim, the Pacific Rim.
The Pacific
No.
Rim, no.
Yeah, at some point you just have to decide it's gone. Yeah, I see a lot of the comb overs, and you're like, who are we fooling? Come on.
No, you just gotta rock it.
Yeah. Is it a deal breaker? So like if you met like a bald guy?
No. Listen, I have dated a bald guy, and it was great. But I went out with this other guy who wore a hat all the time.
Oh.
And then when the moment came for him to take his hat off, he took his hat off, and I was just a little surprised. And I was like, why didn't you just... I feel like I was tricked at that point.
That's worse.
You know what I mean? Because I don't mind the bald guy, but if you're going to... I feel like he was like, I don't know. He was just hiding something.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Just take the hat off.
I've been out at bars with hats on, and I've had women take my hat off to see if I have hair or not. And I'm like,
you know what? It must be a hard thing. I can't imagine, especially like going back to this high school boyfriend, was like the coolest guy in school and stuff, to graduating and just like losing all your hair and just being so insecure. It must be so fucking hard to go through, but you gotta just own it. Because like most
Would you go bald for a role?
Yeah, for sure. I want to shave my head.
That would be badass.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, you could pull that off for sure.
I'm looking for an excuse.
Do that G.I. Jane shit.
Yeah.
Someone needs to write Haley a role in a movie.
Yeah.
Get
I want to shave my head in the movie like Natalie Portman in V for Vendetta. Like I would just be like.
I was gonna say Jonah Hill in that cancer movie. He did the same thing.
You know.
But no, it wasn't Jonah Hill.
No,
it was but he was in it,
Justin
right?
Gordon-Levitt.
Justin Gordon-Levitt, right?
Yeah.
You get one take.
Yeah.
And do that shit. Yeah.
I'd mess the take up though, and they'd be like, "Someone get some glue. We gotta put the hair back on." She fucked it up again.
We used to do that. That was how we hazed on the football team in high school. We would trim each other's hair, but it would never be like a normal buzz cut. You would literally just like with like the Asian guy, you would leave the bangs and like the sideburns, and you leave it for like a week and then you clean it up. But that was, I mean, look, it was not physical hazing.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's camaraderie.
It's fine compared to the things I've heard about.
Yeah. Oh no, none of that elephant walk shit. The cracker.
Yeah.
The cracker. That's the boy.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I was in a fraternity. None of that shit happened.
It doesn't.
None of that. But some
you know what? Though, when I was at home and I'd hear about that stuff in school, I was like, oh, those American fraternities. That doesn't happen in Canada.
No, they're out there. They're just, I think, farther south. I mean, the South doesn't give a fuck. Like they get away with crazy shit. We couldn't even have. I mean, they were on us like. You know, like I said, this New England Puritan shit. I mean, you really couldn't, everything.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, to a point.
People get traumatized for life.
But we were like afraid. God forbid you didn't have sex with a condom. You literally thought you were gonna die the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you move to New York. No one cares.
You're like, nope.
That's 3 hour drive away. Exist in New York. They literally in New York. No one gives a fuck. They put the condom dispenser in every bar.
Yeah.
Then no one's ever used one. Like they just don't give a.
It's so crazy. I always tell people. Guys don't believe me because guys are always like, oh, like girls are crazy. Like I'm not trying to get a girl pregnant. I'm like, but listen, if any girl is ever like, I don't want to use a condom, no guy is ever like, no, we gotta use one. Guys are always like, all right.
Well, you know what happens if the guy questions it, the girl gets irate. It's, what do you think this is? What do you think? I'm telling you, it doesn't go both ways. This is one of those cases where, like, as a guy, you just have to understand you're on the losing side of this. I'm telling you, I've got evidence.
but a guy will always choose to not.
Right.
But if a girl's like, no, let's not, and then he's like, yeah, let's not. She's like, actually, let's. Then yeah, he'll be like, yeah, let's.
Yeah, I mean, even like halfway through, if a girl, I mean, you gotta have to. And that's part of the consent. Yeah. You just have to go.
You gotta have to be her bitch the whole time. You have to. Yeah.
But no, seriously, and if it's hard. It's like I said, we're living in New York. I mean, I just you kind of suss out the situation, how you met somebody, what the vibe is. But like even then, I mean, the closest thing to like a pre-sex talk I ever experienced was someone being like, "Are you good?" And then, no one's ever like. That's why it's crazy to me when everyone's like, "There's apps coming out for consent." It's like, no, consent's important.
There's apps.
Oh yeah, like where you like you put your thumbprint in and like everyone takes a selfie together. It's like, what a boner killer. Like, don't people know what consent? I mean,
you know what? I tweeted something one time. And it just got so blown up. I was like, when you're about to kiss someone, do you usually just go in and kiss them, or do you wait for them to kiss you, or what? And people were like, consent. I was like, that's not what I'm saying.
See, no, you can't have this
that's
conversation.
That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm not just gonna go up to someone on the street and like, you know the vibe. I'm not saying I'm gonna just go up and kiss someone. Obviously, like, I know people are not gonna like the consent vibe. Like, people are gonna be so mad about that. But I'm talking about you've been going out with someone and you want to kiss them. They clearly want to kiss you. My question was, do you go in or do you let them come in or what? You know what I mean?
And okay, so the first part of that, the consent talk, people don't want to have the talk. They just say, no, everything's got to be 100%. And it's like, yeah, but no one in their right mind is asking, no guy is asking a girl, can I kiss you now?
Mm-hmm. I think it's cute when they do that.
Oh my gosh. Google it. I'm just telling you. Well, you're thinking of like the knight in shining armor, like no brainer. But there's plenty of times when it's backfired, and it doesn't mean they don't want you to kiss them, but women want a guy who's assertive. But true. The guy has to know, like I said, he's got to know that that's there.
There's a lot of things you got to know now.
Yeah.
I mean, always. But you know what is great is I think that not all women. It's so hard to word things. Not all women, but I think maybe, even including myself, in the past, have been more shy to say that you don't like something or like you don't want something physically, but because it's such a topic right now, it's easier to tell someone to fuck off or what, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
But not every girl, but all of my friends like that who I've had this conversation with have been in a situation where you don't really want to do something, but you feel like you're obligated to do it because you hung out with this guy for fucking all night or whatever. You know what I mean?
For dinner, and you're like, what the fuck?
But because we talk about it more, I think that it's more. Maybe guys are it's not such a surprise for me to be like, actually, you're not coming over.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's so fair. It's so fair of you to like to bring up the fact that you feel like there is an obligation, and there isn't, right?
There isn't.
There
no.
isn't. But
why
it's
do
easier
we
to
feel
say
like
that.
There is sometimes?
Well, because it's like, look, when if you're doing sales door to door and you put the product in somebody's hands, you have a higher chance of selling it. The longer you stay with them, that you have a higher chance of selling. The longer you stay on a date, you have a higher chance of getting laid. It's all like that's all there.
It's
so
weird because I just like making out most. I just want to make out. Like, and I'm just this PSA right now. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just like, I'll be making out with someone. They'll be like, "So you want to come over?" I'm like, "I don't. I really don't. Yeah. I just."
But what? So at what point?
I just pretend I didn't hear them.
I mean, do you? So and then there's the shaming involved, like, oh, the fucking cock tease kid.
But you know what? I remember in high school, when everybody started to hug, I was like, I'm not ready for this hugging shit. And then everybody called me a freeze for like years and years, and I was just like, that's kind of sick.
You got that Puritan energy.
I don't
I'm not ready for this hugging shit.
And first I was like, freeze, that's kind of cool. Like, everyone's like, Hayley's a freeze. And I was like, cool.
Wait. What? I don't know that
freeze,
term.
like, you just don't do anything.
Like,
you don't do anything.
Freeze would be...
Sexually.
So, but that's a real term?
In high school it was. And at first I was like, oh my god, cool. And then everybody was making it sound like a negative thing. And then I was like, no, this is not negative. This is sick.
How about this? Hayley the Freeze. It's a movie where you shave your head and don't hug people.
And everybody wants me, but I don't give anything to anyone. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. And but then we find out it's because if you touch them, they would freeze. They would freeze.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's your magic power is you make things frozen as you touch them. Yeah, and then you have to, I don't know why you have to have your head shaved, but we're going to make that happen.
We'll figure it out.
So, no, I guess that would be like, we had like this term straight edge, but that was more for drugs, but I guess freeze was, no. So, what, I didn't know hugging was like a thing people graduated
It was like,
you didn't just always hug?
You guys have we don't have, well, some schools have middle school, but we just had kindergarten to grade 7th grade, and then 8 to 12. So I went
young to be like mingling
with the 12s because we had dances and like I was 12 and like 18-year-olds were like grinding up on 12-year-olds. That's why we stopped having dances because it was like some jail shit after that. But
that's one of those things you just don't realize till hindsight. You go, oh shit, that was kind of weird.
I was like, why is everyone making a big deal? And then I was like, oh my god, these kids can vote and we can't even like get a license.
They can literally be in an army and they're grinding with potential 12-year-olds. And sometimes people, you know, are hitting puberty early, and it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Most of them, no. Most of them, no.
So people were hugging before you.
Yeah. I remember grade 8. You just pulled up to high school. Everyone was hugging, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Are you?
I still don't like
Are
hugging.
you introverted? What is it? Are
I'm
you
like,
a germaphobe?
No,
I'm not shaming
don't
you
like.
for your lack of hugging.
I just like don't like. Even now, it's the same. I still feel the same way about hugging. I don't like hugging people I don't know. You know, I just feel like it's not genuine. If like you meet someone and for 2 seconds, or when you very first meet someone and they hug you, I'm like, but what if I'm a piece of shit?
Yeah. So how do you? But I
just do it anyway because that's what people do socially. People just hug.
Yeah,
But I want a real hug. I want a genuine hug.
Like bear hug.
I don't want like a. I want like.
That was my buddy, my roommate in college. He was like 6'4", just big guy, and he would hug everyone he met. But he was a good-looking dude, and you could tell that like every girl who hugged him immediately had like lady boner. They immediately were like, oh boy, this is like security.
This is the best hug.
You know what I mean? Versus like some flaccid kind of like, you know. Yeah, you gotta have like
if you're gonna, I don't mind the hug, but I just feel like you just have to really commit to the hug. So
hugs.
I don't like a phony hug.
No phony hugs here. We're starting it off slow, so we're finding out.
This is a sex podcast, okay?
And
no phony hugs.
And we're
trying
to get
deep.
Consensual hugging happening here. So at what point? I mean, how does a guy? So you like to make out with guys? So is there a fear of intimacy after that? And I'm not judging you at all. I'm just trying to like figure out. Or have there ever been instances where like you don't know a guy, but you surprise yourself with your ability to hug quickly and move forward?
Yeah.
And like why that vibe?
I
Is it a
definitely
trust
don't
thing?
have a fear of like commitment or anything. I like to. Sounds so like I'm an old-fashioned girl, but I like to know people because I don't like. I'm not just gonna make out with like anyone because they're just hot.
Yeah.
I think people are hot after I learn that they are funny.
Well, that's like an intellectual
then I'm like,
turn on, where you're turned on by somebody's the intangibles, their charm, their humor,
And that is why, back to the gay therapy thing, obviously there's so many other reasons why I don't think that would ever work, but like I'm like attracted to people's like personality and you know what I mean? Like whether it's I've been physically attracted to like a woman who is very smart and very funny and a guy who is very smart and very funny and like my friend called me a chubby chaser for a little while, but the guy was fantastic and I dated him for like a little bit.
And chubby chaser, is that a Canadian term? Chubby chaser?
Is that not used here either?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Yeah, you like.
I don't have a fear of commitment. I just have a fear of committing to someone who I can't stand in 2 weeks.
Well, so I mean, have you? So like your high school guy. Have you had any other relationships like your high school boyfriend that were sort of long term and you just like what gets you into those then if you sound so repulsed afterwards? Like is your guard up now?
I think I'm just smarter now.
Yeah.
When I moved, my second kind of long relationship was when I moved out and I just didn't know anyone. I moved downtown and I didn't really know anyone and I met like 4 or 5 people and dated one who was awful. And I was just
so
like,
this is after you graduated high school?
Yeah.
You're 18, you moved to downtown Vancouver.
Yes.
By yourself?
Yeah.
And
I met this guy who I thought was cool and my friend was like, I think he has a girlfriend. And as soon as someone says that, clearly now I'm like, that's a sign. But I was like, do you think so?
A sign that you're into them?
A sign that it's, no, you need to get out now.
Well, but were you still attracted?
I don't know.
You ever dated a guy that wasn't...
That feels like a different lifetime.
Have you ever dated a guy that wasn't like available?
Like he had a girlfriend and I
either a girlfriend or just emotionally not available?
I've definitely been really... liked someone who just emotionally unavailable. Wasn't dating someone, but he just wanted to be just wanted to.
But do you know this? Like 2 weeks ago, we had Charlene de Guzman on, who was she just wrote and started a movie about, it's called Unlovable. It's about sex and love addiction, and she just knows she can't have sex with a guy because she, like, right away. So she developed a plan, like, through her 12-step program.
In the movie or in real life?
In both.
Okay.
In real life, she had to develop a plan to really take it one step at a time. So, like, their first date would be like platonic daytime, and they did, like, she would do several daytime dates with these guys, and she was, like, so quickly realizing which guys she didn't like.
Yes.
Because
you
like,
need a friendship, like, truly you need a friendship first to find out if someone's nuts or how they, that's the problem I think with my last relationship was, I think I met him at a club or something.
Right.
And we just made out. Oh God. And then, you know what I mean? And then I was like,
Straight
well, let's hang out again. Let's hang out again. Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know, like, who he
How
was.
long
I
did
knew
it
nothing.
last?
Too long, like a year and a half.
Wow.
He's awful.
Yeah, clubs. I never understood how men met women at
That's
clubs.
the place where you make out and you go. You don't get the number after.
I mean, I guess if you have, like, a bottle service and you look kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
no, I didn't know that.
I mean, how did you meet him at the club itself? Like, did he approach you, or?
It was like a university type bar, and everyone that went to this university, like, used to go there, and so there was just a bunch of university guys there, and me and my friends were there.
Now, so with your following's grown, you're on a hit show, movies. Are you? I mean, what level of dudes are sliding into your DMs? I mean, do you even, like?
Not that many.
Gentlemen, get out there.
A couple. Like, I feel like maybe just a few, but
does
most
a guy
of the
have
following is like under 16.
I was gonna say,
so
yeah, they must be young.
If they are, I'm not opening them 100%.
I mean, is there a path where a guy? Because a lot of men always want cheat codes. Like, video games want cheat codes. They want to know how they can crack the system. Can a guy introduce himself to you online and even have a chance at meeting you? Like, could you see a world where that could happen?
Yeah, for sure.
Bullshit.
Yeah. No, I think so for sure.
But what would have to happen?
But you can't be like, hey, I think you're so beautiful. I hate that.
Yeah, you're like Trojan horse it, like a few photos.
Yeah, no, but I can't. You know what sucks about? I don't really care about Instagram anyway. But when you have a big following, you can't see any of that.
I can't know what you're talking
about. Like, if you liked all my pictures, I would not even be able to know.
Yeah.
Unless I followed the person, I wouldn't be able to see that they. Even the messages sometimes I can't, because there's so many, so sometimes I can't. But if somebody was cool and was trying to talk to me about something, I would respond. I do respond to some people that I see.
Yeah.
I go in the ones that I have to like, that I don't know sometimes.
Well, I got to steer this back to the movie, the new Romantic.
Yes.
So you play the best friend of your college students, and she sort of, and I don't want to give anything away, but sort of dabbles into gifts for relationships, kind of.
Yes.
It's like almost like a gray area, like where like it's not prostitution, but it's like sugar daddy-ish.
Yeah, it's always hard because people say it's a gray area and it's close, but in my mind, I know that they're not the same thing at all. But when people try to ask me to tell them why, I just stumble. But it's not the same thing.
Well, you know, you can always break down a relationship and be like, well, you so and so paid for dinner, and there's an expectation, and that's when it gets to that weird place where it's like, if you let a guy buy it, you're supposed to let, like, if one party asks the other party out, you should let them pay if they offer. It's like they ask you out, but. If dinner was $150, you don't owe them $150 worth of sex coupon. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That it shouldn't work that way. But with like the sugar daddy,
I think it's predetermined. Well, the sugar daddy stuff is predetermined. Like they've talked about it.
Right.
So. Is
that something where you think society's going to because that sugar daddy website, I think it was started like at NYU. Yeah. I mean, that's like a legit.
It's
business.
Been going on for a long time.
And
really long time.
And it used to probably just be something where you'd have to like lay out the arrangements when you meet someone in person. But now it's like, look, you got these dudes in New York, or whatever gender, whatever. But they're making a ton of money, and they want someone who's like gonna either be there like an escort, like go to dinner with them. Like it doesn't always go. It's not like here's $4,000 for sex, but it's kind of like, well, if the female finds the guy attractive, or vice versa, whatever the arrangement is. It's like, well, why not? Like, if they want to help me fund this.
But I think also for, like, a student, in this situation that the movie's in, well, not Blake's character, but there are girls in college that do that. Maybe they don't have time for a relationship either.
Right.
So maybe this is beneficial for them too, because they're getting tuition paid for and they're getting gifts and stuff, but they don't have time to be emotionally committed to a guy either.
Now, with your busy workload and filming and jet setting around Vancouver, could you see this passing your moral sort of barrier, like it's something that personally could do? If you just like met a dude who's
I couldn't, because I don't like to share, and I need to know. But you don't really know when you're dating someone. But I just like, I can't even ask that. It's like I would be stepping over a line, being like, "Are you sleeping with anyone else?" You know what I mean?
Could you be a sugar mama to a dude? Guys
Maybe,
in college,
like,
and you're doing your thing.
30 years. If I don't know, we'll see what happens. No.
That's my goal with my girlfriend, is that someday I can afford to just like be her sugar daddy. But as of right now, it's pretty much the other way.
You're like, man, no.
And instead of just like me, doing favors for her, like running to the pharmacy. It's not sexy at all.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, babe, I got your prescription.
Yeah,
so
but in real life, that's the difference. Is
the
you're
real life
getting
is
the
not as
prescription.
sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like I get her like I had to go pick up her badge and still cream that. I'm making that part up, but it's like
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you stick together. You're basically just roommates that are on a personal level that can like run errands for each other. We started dating pretty much because I was watching her dog.
Wow.
That's kind of it. Like I passed the dog test.
How long have you guys been together?
5 years.
Oh wow.
We were sort of.
She was like, "This guy's a keeper." The dog likes him. Yeah.
She talk about reading the signs wrong. I tried to kiss her and she like backed away because we were friends. She like did the double chin back away, and I was like, "Are you?" I was like, "What?" And like we were on my roof watching the sunset, and I was like, "What are you kidding me? Like if this wasn't the right sign."
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not blaming her, but it's like, in what world did you think a friend wanted to watch the sunset with you on the roof?
Yeah.
Like, it was just so clear today in my head.
So when did you guys get together after that?
Well, I kind of, there's a few times when I had to like communicate and ask her out. I was like, I think we should like date. I think we should want to date. And she was like, wouldn't that make it weird? Like that's literally what she said. Wouldn't it make it weird?
But you know what? The first 3 people I dated all didn't like me first.
Yeah.
I was like, I really like you, and they were like, yeah, I don't like you.
People gotta get out of their own way sometimes. And I'm not saying she didn't like me. I think she was just like, oh, jeez. Because every dude that she was friends with was probably trying to hook up with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I feel like sometimes that just happens where like dudes are kind of slimy. And I didn't have a clear agenda with her where I was like, I'm going to be pursuing you. I was kind of like I just moved here and I had already known her from New York, and I was like, we started spending some time together, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm being put in the friend zone, but I don't mean that in a way where like she did anything wrong. I was just kind of like, well, we're not taking it to the next level. And I kind of had to be honest with her, and I was like, I'd be really, I was like, and this is, I was like willing to just be friends with her, but I was thinking if she started dating another guy, then that would really crush me, and that's how I knew I liked her, because I was like, I could have gone slower for my own self, but I was also like, I'm not gonna let some other guy swoop in when I'm taking all the emotional labor of a friend, taking that role. So I told her, I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like it's gonna be really tough to like break up with you as friends, but I can't really do it. And then like almost immediately, I went on a trip and came back, and she was waiting at the airport for me, and I was like, oh, and that was my
rom-com.
super rom-com.
That's so cute.
I didn't invite her. She was just like, when are you getting off? And as soon as I got off airplane mode, she's like, I'm here, so just let me know. And I was like, and that was her way of saying like, I'm gonna give this a shot. And that was 5 years ago. And for me, I was like, oh fuck, because now I gotta deliver. It's so easy as a guy to be like in that courting phase, but as soon as like, okay, you got a shot, show me what you got. It's like, fuck.
Were you still down, or were you like,
absolutely
right now?
Absolutely, no, 100%. I mean, everyone who listens knows from countless hours of analyzing and talking, that we have issues. I wouldn't say it's toxic by any means, but we have issues. Like we have communication issues.
Yeah, no people have to.
Yeah, it's like you'd be insane to think if you didn't. I mean, we had issues even right away going from friends to dating because it flipped everything on its head, and it became, we need to communicate like what we are, and we like. It was, we started dating, it was a few weeks before Valentine's Day, so like, Valentine's Day came around, it wasn't like a high pressure thing because we were like new, but it all just like, because we were friends, it all sort of transitioned quick, and honestly, we probably moved in like 6 months in, which is like way, I would have never done that.
I've done it.
Yeah, oh you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it feels right, also like, I don't know. I feel like you're gonna do it anyway. Just do it.
Yeah, because sometimes the opportunity.
Move out, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes the opportunity comes slightly before, you would normally be ready. And like I had a buddy who needed a place, and I was like, I'm staying at Tasha, which is here. I was like, I'm staying at Tasha's like 5 nights a week. Take my room. I'll cut Tasha's rent in half. It'll be
That's the thing. At the end of the day, you're cutting. Someone's paying. You're both paying, and it's just like that just makes more sense.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. We're already approaching an hour. So look, your film comes out November 9th, and then streaming November 13th. This episode's going to come out November 11th. So if you're listening to this, the film's already out, and then you can stream. Do you know where it's going to be streamed online, or just iTunes?
I think you can get it on Amazon, iTunes, all that stuff.
Is this your first like big like movie that's coming out?
Yes.
I mean, what was it like, even finding out you're going to be like? I mean, how have you done? What, 15 episodes? How many episodes have you done with Riverdale?
Yeah, I think seasons. 15 or 16 or something.
I mean, is that like what was finding that out?
Here
I am asking you about getting hugs, and like I got real.
Yeah, I was so surprised. Yeah, hugs. No, I was so surprised because that was the first thing that I booked. A TV thing that I booked. I had only done like a commercial or two, and I didn't think, my agent was like, you should just go out, it's good for your confidence to learn lines and blah blah blah. And then I booked that, and then I thought it was like 1 episode, and they were like, yeah, so the first season is da 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 da, and I was like, what?
And then that's how you found out, by them just kind of.
Yeah, and then I still thought it was like I was gonna be on it for maybe 2 episodes. So.
And is it still going on?
Yeah.
So what season will you be going into? You're not
shooting 3 now?
Did you start season 3 or you're about to?
Started.
Wow. And are you shooting in Vancouver?
Yeah.
So what are you doing here? Just other stuff?
I haven't been on it too much, so I'm just gonna fly back and forth.
Cool.
And,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's so close. So
congrats.
Thanks.
Here's the thing. Check out the soap. Let me know what you think.
I will. Yeah.
And
I will.
We got to get out of here. So your Instagram's Hayley.
My Instagram is Halo because that's my artist's music name. And it's got a little Canadian spelling. It's Hayleau. Law. That's my last name. Law. L-A-W.
I love Hayley Law. I really that
Halo.
is. I didn't know if that was your real name. That's.
Yeah. I just want to tell people my name's Halo because like.
Yeah.
People that I work with in life and stuff call me Halo, and then.
You got to go to single name Halo.
I'm like Childish Gambino. That's what I tell people when people are like, I don't get it. I'm like, you know how Childish Gambino? That's his music name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Glover. Wait.
Yeah.
Is it Danny Glover? Is that name?
Donald Glover.
To see, I always fuck those two up.
I know, me too.
Danny Glover's
when
the
people say
old
Danny
guy.
Glover, I'm like, no way. And then I'm like, that's not Donald Glover.
And they're just, man. Anyway, thanks so much for being on the show. And then for everyone listening, go check if you don't check out Riverdale, but also check out the new Romantic.
Yeah, watch the Romantic.
Here's the thing. I got about halfway through, and I felt bad. I didn't want to get to the part. I didn't want to get any farther without Tasha watching because I was like, oh, this is actually like a film we can watch.
Yeah.
As a couple, because it's like, I mean, would you call it rom-com or just straight romantic?
I think it's rom-com.
Yeah. And it's modern. It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the episode. Thanks so much for being on, everybody. Sex Action Podcast.